Hey everyone, so in this week we're going to be making a hot cut and a hole punch out of a piece of coil spring. These are pretty easy to get your hands on. Go to any mechanic and they'll pretty much have them lying around and they're free. They're good tool steel. So first I cut it to length. Here I'm just showing you my forge. This is a forced air ribbon burner forge. If you have any questions, give me a shout. These are pretty easy to build. This one has actually lasted me about a year and a half. Okay, so here I am. Took the coil spring out of the forge, still hot. I stick it right in the hardy hole, so I can move it around. If you don't have a hardy hole, a vise of some sort, or you can cut it into smaller pieces to what you're working with. I like to work them a little longer. So yeah, I'm just straightening it out. Once you get it straight enough, you can put it over. Just start hitting it with the hammer, and you'll be able to straighten it up over the face of the anvil pretty quick. You know, this is 5160, so if it starts to get cool, it is not going to want to move on you. So make sure that you keep it hot. Okay, so after I straightened it out, I cut off a piece of it with the angle grinder. So right here, I'm just drawing it out. So this is I'm going to make the center punch or the hole punch first. Keep the piece of metal on the far side of the anvil, and try to hit it at glancing blows, and you'll start to work it down into a taper. Mark Asprey and Alex Steele, they have videos on YouTube. And they go into a lot of detail about how just to form a taper. The biggest thing, you form your four sides. And then once you want to start cleaning it up, you knock it octagonal, and then you slowly just start rounding it off. That's what I'm doing here. So you can actually see I pretty much was able to forge this, the center punch or the hole punch, in one heat. If you get it nice and hot, obviously you don't want to burn it, but you know it's pretty easy to do, and you can do this real quick. Yeah, and but you know it's only made out of coil spring, so. It is going to be a little bit thinner on the back end, so you might start mushrooming over after a lot of use. But I have a bunch of tools made out of a piece of coil spring, and they work great. Yeah, it's great little tools, great tool steel. 5160 is phenomenal tool steel. So here is just a quick show of the normalizing. I brought it in, I heated it up. Normalizing, what it does is it relieves the stresses that might have built up during forging. We want to get those out before we go and harden it. I'm actually going to do this 3 times, but I'm only going to show you one just because it's kind of boring watching a piece of metal cool. So here we go. I have my vertical quench tank. We're bringing the center punch over to it. I'm trying to show you how hot it is, see if I can get you to focus on it. We want it about a dull orange before we drop it in there. The camera doesn't quite do justice. You can see it once I got it to focus there. It's a little better. But yeah, we're looking for like that dull orange color. And then we're just going to dump it in the oil. We're going to swish it around. And then we're going to pull it back out. And then, so it'll be hardened. And then we're going to go and we're going to do a quick temper on it. You know, this is just tools. We're not doing like, you know, really precision knives, or we're not doing precision tool making. We're doing blacksmith tool making. So a lot of these you can once you're done hardening them, you can temper them with a torch. Or what I like to do is I'll heat up the back end to red. Bring it out and let the color work its way forward. Actually, I'm going to show you that up ahead. So what I'm doing here, I'm just doing a quick file test to make sure that it's hard enough. You know, if you heat it up to that temperature and you quench it, it normally is. You got to give it a couple seconds for it to fully harden. to hit the fully hardened stage. But you can see here, I've got it in the fire, heating up just the back end of it. You know, I'm not trying to get the whole thing of it hot. I did take it over and I cleaned it up a little bit just so I can see the colors run a little better. Yeah, so yeah, I set it up on a. I don't want my anvil to pull the heat out of it, so I put it on a piece of fire brick. But you know, you can tip it upright and actually stick it in the vise or something and let the heat draw up towards it. And then once you get it to about that straw color, that brownish yellow color, that's what we're going to look for. That's going to let us know that it's pretty much tempered, that the heat soaked all the way through, and it's relieved some of the stress from hardening. And then we're going to be able to use it. And yeah, like I said, these punches are great. This guy right here, if you're making tongs, which I like to make a lot of tongs, you can use these punches. You can knock your hole out, and then you can go and you can actually use the same punch just to drift the hole open a little bit to fit your rivet. Just demonstrating punch works right here. Okay, so now we're going to make the hot cut. This is made out of the same piece. It's going to be a small hot cut because we're only working with 1/2 inch round. So what I do is I start flattening it out on one side, and I take the peen of the hammer so I can get the most out of it. I really want to push that metal out to both sides so I can get the hot cut to be a little wider. You can also use this for, you know, also a hot chisel. Chisel any detail that you want into metal with it. If you're doing that, though, what's really useful is you actually want to crown it just a little bit. You'll see when I go to clean it up with the angle grinder what I'm talking about, but it helps if the chisel is, it's got a sharp edge, but the profile of it is rounded a little bit. That'll help you be able to hot cut or hot chisel marks into your metal, and then actually be able to kind of walk the chisel with it so that you can follow it and you'll get a straighter line. You see there, basically one heat, forged it out real quick. Yeah. So I'm just taking this heat. All I'm doing is I'm just straightening it up, getting it ready, and then I'm gonna bring it over, and well, I'll do a normalizing cycle on it. Then I'm gonna bring it over. I'm gonna cut it with the angle grinder, just the length, you know, and whatever length works for you. You know, some people I like my chisels to be kind of a little on the shorter side. I probably get a little too close to the hot metal, but you know, you can make them as long as you want. It's the great part about using coil springs. You don't really have to worry about wasting a lot of material because you can get them for free. Here we go again. I'm just taking it, quenching it real quick. So after this, I'm skipping over. I am tempering it off camera. I didn't do it on camera because I didn't want to make you guys sit and watch a piece of metal change color again. But I just want to thank everyone for watching the video. You know, I'm just getting started with the YouTube thing. I want to, you know, try and help everyone get going. Both of these are going to be given away, the same deal. One like is one entry, one share is one entry, and one comment is an entry, you know. And so the winner for last week, the tongs, I'm going to get a hold of that YouTube member. I'm going to pick them out tonight once I upload this video. So I will send a message out to them, and I will let them know. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, you name it. Everything, you know, every little bit helps. Also, comment what you want me to make, because I need ideas. Do you want more tools? What kind of tools? Do you want me to do little trinkets you can sell? Whatever you want, comment it, and I'll make sure to work that into my videos.